gentlemen, boys and girls. Today we have the pleasure of hosting a chef, entrepreneur, and a social media influencer who has taken the food world by storm with his innovative recipes and creative flair. He's the mastermind behind the popular food blog Your Food Lab, and his dishes have won the hearts of foodies all around the world. With over 1 million followers on Instagram and millions of views on his YouTube channel, he's become a household name in the world of culinary arts. Please join me in welcoming the very dynamic Chef Sanjyot Keer. Thank you, Chef.
Thank you. Thank you
Chef,
so much for
usually,
having me.
when we announce these episodes to the schools, when we announce a guest, we get students to send us the questions that they want us to ask chefs. And we received such a, like it was like a flood of questions that came to us for you. But the team has been, they've shortlisted a few questions and would love to get to it now.
So glad to hear that, and I'm looking forward to this conversation. And I hope there are a lot of people watching us, so
Perfect.
let's go ahead with it.
I wanted to start with your food journey. You've spoken that your food journey began because of street food when you were a child. How did that influence your career, and what was the starting point that led to you that this is what I want to do?
Firstly, thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. I started cooking at a very young age, and initially, when I used to explore food, my initial conversation with food was more over going out with my father or my parents and my sister to have Mumbai street food. And whenever I saw these, street food heroes cook on the streets, I used to feel like these guys are magicians, who create such beautiful dishes on the streets. दूर से ही वो सुगंध आ जाती है. Those aromas just pull you to those carts, and I could actually watch things being cooked in front of me. So that is how one day I got back home. I told my mother that I wanted to cook, and she very welcomely allowed me to cook in her kitchen. And my first ever recipe, which I cooked, was a pav bhaji, and which is a very famous and a very delicious street food recipe from Mumbai. And that first experience of cooking in the kitchen, I still remember it, serving it to my family, and the kind of expressions they had on their faces, those smiles. And that is when I realized that, I could learn this art, I could, cook more often, and I could put smiles on people's faces. That's how my journey with cooking
Absolutely. And
started.
when you say that when you see these street food vendors as magicians, that is so true. They cook in these, I have these childhood memories of going to Juhu Beach, and there are these vendors just pouring in things and fishing out magic like.
Yeah. Yeah, it is so rustic and it is so real. There's no, there's no camouflage of things. It's just what it is. And wherever you go and you try street food, you will be able to taste their culture. You will get to know how the people of that particular region are, and you will get to also eat with people from all walks of life. You will see everybody having food at the same place, and it is so fast, it is so quick, it is so much of energy, so much of love at the same place, and I just love that
No,
about street
absolutely.
food.
And about your journey, something which is very interesting is that during the pandemic, there were a lot of chefs, or even like home chefs who became famous because they started putting their content, their recipes on social media. But you are and then food influencer became a thing. But you were doing this way before all of this, right? You were the OG food influencer on Instagram. You put up, your first video in 2016, and then the rest is history. It must be like a new, not very, like a road which is not always taken. Did you have such apprehensions when you were trying this out on social media?
It's not just social media, but in India, to become a chef itself was something which was not really well accepted in Indian families. I remember when I was a kid and a few of my friends also wanted to take this career up. it was not that easy, you know. Like families usually told
Yeah.
ke bawarchi banega kya tu? Yeah, you know, it is not a profession which is looked up to. And in that kind of a zone, when I really early in my school days had decided that I wanted to become a chef, I was lucky enough that my family supported me with my decision. Um, After that, now when I chose to become a chef, and then when I went on to choose, now I want to become a creator or a social media influencer, what it's termed as now. It was just a thought about how can I share the art, what I love with people. So I always say that your food lab is like a love letter to food, which I'm just sharing with people. And your food lab started with a few basic principles in my mind that I wanted to, change how food was presented on digital, how it was consumed on digital. I wanted to make it look very different, make it feel very different. I wanted to make recipes and food very approachable for people because I realized that there are a lot of people who are not that fortunate enough who can dine at expensive restaurants, who cannot travel the world to experience cuisines. And if I could share these very simple recipes with people, which have very simple ingredients, which are very easy to make at home, these recipes would become very approachable for people. So all of these things came together, and when I chose this, there was not much of monetization. There was not much of kind of के इससे पैसे कैसे कमाने हैं या how you'll get famous with this. There was nothing like that in 2016. But the journey started in a very humble manner, where I used to shoot my videos in my living room on my dining table. And the journey has been incredible, where I could build my own dream kitchen. We've done millions of views. We hear hundreds and thousands of testimonials every single day from people all around the world. And I feel that decision has worked my way. And going ahead, we are building a lot of new experiences for people through our content.
Absolutely, and the testimonials are just flooding in here as well in the comment section. Number of fans that you have is just you beat, I think, one of the biggest Bollywood celebrities also. uh,
No, thank you so much, guys, for all the love in the
yeah,
comment
but
section over
it's
here.
it's true. We did, Tala Dalal. I think she became big on social media. I mean, she's an icon in that space. But when it comes to making food cooler, like you said, people don't have that accessibility of fine dining. But through your recipes, they were able to give it to themselves, at least a slice of it. So I think that has been, I mean, groundbreaking, specifically because you did it before the food influencers became a thing. So, um, so thank you for bringing that into our lives, Chef.
Now, I'm sure there are a lot more people doing it. There are, great culinary artists who build amazing content. There are great chefs who did brilliant content on television as well. But as internet kicked in, there was this need of newer, fresher content to be
Yeah.
made in the food scene. And that is what we started in 2016. And
Yeah.
now I see so many of my peers, so many of my colleagues, my friends doing such amazing content with food on the internet. And all the credit goes to everybody who spread so much of love through
Yeah.
food.
No, absolutely. And talking about food and the role that it plays specifically in pushing India's soft power. Like India was known, like Indian food was just butter chicken and that very cliche things. But because of so many entrepreneurs, so many chefs putting it out there on social media, do you think that the global mindset towards Indian food is changing, or do you think there's still a long way for people to actually understand and comprehend that Indian food is much beyond just butter chicken?
So definitely in the Western world, Indian food was very much looked as butter chicken or Northern Indian food per se. But the world is opening up. It is also the other way around with us, right? For us in India, Italian food is pasta and pizza, but then it is much more than that. And I feel, the internet has made it easier right now to spread the word and promote cuisines which actually people need to know. And the world is following suit. Recently, when the last Michelin guide came up with their new announcement, Sema, a restaurant in New York, which is a South Indian restaurant which has masala dosa on their menu, got a Michelin star. So, the Michelin Guide also has followed suit in recognizing a cuisine which we felt that people don't celebrate. But I think Indian food is, doing great in the global scene. It's doing wonders, and people love Indian food throughout the world. Whenever I travel throughout the world and I ask people, they have so much love for Indian food, and people are now experiencing and exploring a lot of different kinds of cuisines from India. So it's not just the stereotypical food recipes what people follow. No doubt, we as chefs, as content creators, have to be the flag bearers for it. We have to promote more of our regional cuisines, and I absolutely do that through my content. And people do try these recipes in different parts of the world. And I feel it's just the beginning, and this journey is really long enough that we can, try and cover Indian cuisine, Indian sub-cuisine, subcultures, micro cuisines from our country, which are not explored throughout the world, and we'll keep
Yeah,
promoting that.
and it's chefs who are doing content creation, they're playing such an important role. Just the last episode that I did was with Chef Aruna Vijay, and she was like, South Indian food is just idli dosa for so many of us, but it is just so much beyond that. Like idli dosa is just the tip of the iceberg. And that I was also ignorant to that fact. Like, of course, I knew there's more, but I didn't know that was just like 1 5% of
Yeah.
the what they have.
Yeah, even there are so many
Yeah,
different kinds of
yeah,
idlis and dosas, that we don't know about. And there's much more. It's about every cuisine. We generally, generalize the term as South Indian cuisine, but there are so many different regions in south of India, and every region, every culture has something very unique and different to offer. And I keep exploring more and more. And I just wish that I could explore as much as I could and could kind of
yeah.
present it
No,
through your food
absolutely,
lab.
and it's incredible what your food lab is doing, and it's really inspiring. Um, but chef,
Thank
in
you.
this particular series, this is the seventh episode that we are doing, and every chef that I've spoken to, they have a very strong opinion about authentic food and fusion food. Some people say that authentic food is,
Yeah.
very traditional, authentic food, you should not touch it. And some chefs are like, authentic, there's nothing called authentic food, it's just flavors and it has to go with it. And what do you have to say about this whole debate?
So for me, food is an art form and it could be anything, right? It's just about what kind of presents itself in a format which people love, right? Now, when we talk about food authenticity, everything what we eat today has evolved over years, right? There was no butter chicken maybe 1,000 years back. There was no vada pav just 100 years back. Vada pav is very recent innovation done in 1960s, and it's become one of this most cult food delicacies in Mumbai, and it's known throughout the world. I think it was ranked as the 13th most loved sandwich in the world, and it is just a few years back that it was invented. So, what is the authenticity of vada pav then? Because, when you look at history, it's so fresh and new. So I think, more such innovations can happen. Food will always continue to evolve. And as far as food is made in a made with a good emotion, made with love, and when people eat it for survival or for fun or for enjoying those delicacies, that's the best thing that food can do. I come across this debate about authenticity. I get a lot of comments also sometimes that, this particular thing is not made in the particular way. But even when I pick up Rajma Chawal as a thing, which, and you go to 10 different Punjabi households and see how it's made in their households, every recipe will be different. It's according to how those families like it to be made. So I'm not that strict with food authenticity, but when it comes to playing around with food, I always feel like you should play with it in a way that it does not lose its identity. Uh, like when I did a butter chicken fusion recipe, which is called as a butter chicken bomb, I wanted that soothingness, that butter chicken flavor to shine. So when you bite into that butter chicken bomb, this makhni sauce oozes out and gives you that feel of butter chicken. So that essence is still there, that identity is still there. And I feel that is very important. But for views, a lot of things are done today. Like there was this masala dosa ice cream which went viral. I feel you should not go to that extent that it's not edible. And you should not do that for views. You should make something which actually people can eat and enjoy. And that is what food is all about.
No, that's such a good answer. I mean, there are some recipes which go viral, like you said, which are like, how does one possibly eat it in weird combinations? But when you are coming up with
Right.
your recipes, what is the creative process that goes behind it? Like, how do from conceptualizing it to actually bringing it out for your viewers or for people who are going to actually consume it? How do you think and how do you create it?
So, like now doing content for a few years now, it's become a process. But the first and foremost thing is that comes to my mind is what I feel like cooking. And that's the first thought that if I feel like cooking something today, that's the first uh, dish to be chosen to be shot. Other than that, there are a lot of criterias, a lot of pointers which we follow. Like it's seasonality, it's the weather, it's the time of the year. It is about what I have cooked before, what I have left. We've done more than 3,000 videos, so we have to look back and see what we've already made. But whether the time of the year, seasonality of ingredients, different cuisines, different types of food. Like there is this whole note which I refer to where I've written street food, restaurant style, home style, Indo-Chinese, Indian, maybe North Indian, South Indian, Maharashtrian, Maharashtra, maybe Konkani. You'll go to Kolhapur, Satara, Malwan region. So there are so many regions, and then we go and see what we have covered before and what we have not, and then we'll pick and choose each cuisine and work on it. It's a process that we follow. We also see like now it's summer, so I did a aam panna. I just shot a aam ki longi recipe. I'm doing a fresh. I did a amrakhand. Now I'll do some cooler. So it's all about that, and you come up with these recipes now and then, and you share that. Whenever I'm thinking about doing a fusion, the thought is that how can I do something new which people can eat and people will love. And sometimes those experiments work out, sometimes they don't. And that's the whole process, and you have to
Yeah,
just go
because
along with it.
normal people like us, we struggle to decide what we want to eat. So I can,
But let but let me tell you, that's the same problem that happens at my home also. A lot of people might be thinking कि शेफ के घर पे तो बहुत आसान हो जाता है, इतनी रेसिपीज तो खुद ही बना लेते हैं. But every day at night, mom will ask us, कल क्या खाना है ब्रेकफास्ट पे और लंच पे, और लंच खाते ही mom will be like, अब डिनर में क्या खाना है आपको बता दो. So we'll tell the cook to make it. So that is the same story in every household. I feel it's not going to change. But for people who watch your food lab or who don't watch your food lab, you can always go to your food lab and see what to make next
that
for your next
that's
meal.
true. That's true. But it's so good to know that you guys also have similar problems like our people.
Yeah, same
Yeah,
कहानी है.
Chef, what is something that you love to cook or something that you're very proud of a dish that you put up?
Um, I'm proud about every piece of content and every recipe I share because a lot of effort goes behind every recipe. I'm doing a recipe as simple as a kanda poha or a upma, or as intricate as a multi-layered dish. There's equal amount of effort goes behind curating every recipe. So I'm proud about each and every recipe that I've shared till date. Something I love is, when I'm in this comfort. zone. I love to have maybe cook like a butter chicken. No doubt we were just talking about that people see India as, butter chicken and maybe chole bhature and a few recipes. But when it comes to comfort eating, I personally also love butter chicken and I love to cook butter chicken. There's a black mutton recipe, which is a very regional recipe from Maharashtra. It's called kard mutton, which I love to cook. There's this Kolhapuri misal that I love to do. I love to cook Amritsari kulche. I love my fusion recipe, which is butter chicken bombs. I love to do like a nice idli with some mulagai podi, with some homemade sambar and chutney. It's so soothing. So it's just about what kind of food me or my family is wanting to eat at that particular time, and we'll go and cook that particular recipe. But a lot many times for my lunch, I have very basic food. Like I'll have khichdi and curry at least twice or thrice in a week. I love to have like jwari ki or bajre ki roti with very basic vegetables like lauki or kaddu or bengan ka bharta or bhindi for my lunch. It's usually very simple food for lunch. And by the time I end up shooting for my recipes in the night, most of the times my mom will be like, "Ab yahi kha lo jo banaya hai." So we end up eating whatever it gets cooked in
And
the Wi-Fi
how are you
kitchen.
so fit while you are always cooking? It's such amazing dishes. That is the
Um,
real secret
I
that we
had
want to know.
no, but it was the same story with me during COVID. Like how in COVID everybody had put on a lot of weight. So I had also put on a lot of weight during COVID because it was a very stressful time. There's a lot of work. There was a lot of shift in the routine. So I had gained a lot of weight, but I've tried to work on my fitness. So I try and work out as much as possible. Try to burn as much as calories as possible and eat consciously. Eat in smaller portions. Try to eat on time. Sometimes it gets difficult. My family always, is fighting with me for that reason that, time pe khana nahi khata hai. But we all should, if we want to enjoy food, we all should try to work out, go on a run, and work out as much as possible and then enjoy food. And eat consciously, eat in smaller portions, know what you're eating, and you will be able to eat amazing food and live healthy.
Um, Also, chef, currently, you had your journey and you achieved great successes. When you look at the upcoming generation of chefs, do you think there's some gap that you would like them to fill in terms of being chefs uh, in future, or what would your basically advice be for upcoming chefs?
I feel the moment you visit culinary school or you do hotel management, there's a set curriculum what you need to follow. They'll teach you similar things, and there's not a lot of innovation being done with curriculums and what's taught in these schools. So first, I would like to say that colleges and schools should follow suit to be innovative with their curriculum and what they're teaching their students. And I would love to also tell that, the students out there who are right now studying in culinary schools, don't be confined to what's taught in your college. Be open to learning. So learn new things every single day. You have this power of the internet today where you can go and explore a lot more just from your phone or just in the comfort of your house. And you can see what other Michelin star chefs are cooking, what other really amazing chefs are cooking, or what other home cooks are cooking in their kitchens around the world, and you can learn from that. So be open to learning, learn a new skill, learn a new thing every single day, and you'll notice within a few weeks or a few months, you will become a better chef. You will have a better experience with food, and try to cook as much as possible at home. Try to go out there and explore as much cuisine as possible. And this will open your mind. It will open your mind in many ways, and your library of skill set and of cuisine, of food will keep getting wider and bigger and more diverse and more rich. And that is what will help you to become a bigger and a better and a nice chef. So keep learning new things. Read books, explore content, explore food, travel as much as you can, as far as you can, and you'll go ahead along in your life and
That's a
your
beautiful
career.
piece of advice. And your food lab has already reached tremendous heights. Are there any exciting plans coming up for that, or something that we can stay tuned to know? Uh,
So there's a lot happening. Last year, my first web series on YouTube came out, which is called Chef It Up. So Chef It Up season 2 is happening soon. So stay tuned for that. Really excited to, show you that. We are also working on a few more series-based content IPs where it would be about traveling, it would be about food, it would be about lot more. So that is something what I'm looking forward to. With content itself, there's a lot new more things happening. We just did a series called Street Foods of India, where I'm trying to make cover as many street food recipes from over the country, the length and breadth of our country, in a very new, different ASMR format, which worked really well with our audiences. So we are continuing to do that. More recipes are going to come in that series. I'm also working on a very different thing other than content, which is my D2C company, where you will be soon able to use
oh,
YFL
wow.
products at home. So really excited for that as well. So a lot more is in store going forward, and it's looking like an exciting year until
Absolutely.
now.
It sounds quite exciting, and we look forward to all the crazy things that are coming. But Chef, you mentioned about a new ASMR type video. So these trends keep coming up, and these days it's becoming so difficult to cope up. I.I.M.U.N is all young, run by young people. It's the age group that runs I.I.M.U.N is between 16 to 21, and there are just a couple of us who are like the older ones here, who are above the age of 25. And I myself find it very difficult to keep up with the trends that they keep coming up with. Do you face that as well when you're creating content?
I think I'm pretty much young at 30 right now, and I'm doing great with coping up with trends. But with trends, I like to say that trends come and go, but what stays is how can you add more value to your audiences through your content. That is what is going to stay with your audiences, and that is what is going to make them follow you consistently, make them watch you consistently. So ASMR is not never a thought for us that it is a trend. For us, ASMR was how can this become a very different format of watching Indian food or Indian street food, and how can we present it in a very different way where people have never watched it in that particular manner. And that is what worked. So it was not the trend which worked, but it was the format, in the way we presented these recipes, and it was a very different, unique kind of a way in ASMR format as well, which is very your food lab. It was very, personal, personality driven, and that is what worked. So I feel if you want to, you should never try to cope up with trends, but try to do something which is you and which gives out your personality. And as far as you can add a lot of value to people's lives through your content, you are always going to do great. And for me, like I said, it is making recipes more approachable, making food look very beautiful, make it very easy for people, try to newer formats, which is more fun to watch. And as far as I think we'll be able to do that creatively, we'll keep on growing. And that is how we do it. And you don't need to go into that virality, viral hai to ye kar lo, ye trending hai to ye kar lo. That is just a one-off. And that is not what can give you,
I
consistency in the
think your
longer
food
run.
lab has set a lot of trends and not followed them. So kudos to you for that. Yeah. But Chef, we
Thank you.
always, end the episode by a short rapid fire where we tell you like a word and you tell me the first thing that
Okay.
comes to your mind. Okay.
Okay. I'll
Your
try.
favorite cuisine.
Indian cuisine. I'll get over with it. There's a lot in Indian cuisine, but Indian
Um,
cuisine.
What do you think about the first word that comes to your mind when I say culinary reality TV? Yeah.
Culinary reality TV. Fun.
Your food lab.
A love letter to food.
Comfort food.
घर का खाना.
Street food.
Uh, energy, people, culture.
Mumbai.
Mumbai. Mumbai is fast. Fire. Like uh, hustle and bustle. Dreams. So many words come to my mind with
A
Mumbai.
celebrity you would like to cook for.
A celebrity who so I recently someone asked me that whom do you like to cook for, and I said that there are a lot more people, but I would love to cook for Ratan Tata sir. I would love to cook for him. I just love him as a personality, and it would be a great honor if I could cook for him.
Lovely, chef. And the last, because I.I.M.U.N is all about young people, what do you think about young India, the youth of India?
Inspiration, future. That's our future, and the future looks bright.
Thank you, chef, for such amazing and candid answers. It was such fun interviewing you and speaking with you, and the comment section has not stopped praising you and putting such lovely comments. But that just speaks about
Thank you
but
so
that just
much for
speaks
having
about
me.
the incredible work that you've been doing, and your food lab, the team has been always incredible. Thank you so much, chef, for agreeing to do this. It's been an absolute honor and a pleasure.
Thank you so much. The pleasure is mine, and thank you so much for having me. It was a fun interaction, and especially thank you to the audiences, to my community who have come in large numbers to watch this. Thanks for having me, and I hope everybody had a great time watching us live today.
I'm sure, chef. Thank you so much.